So now we can move our player and we can control the camera. It's time we add some gravity to make our player have that little bit of extra challenge about getting around. So again, we need to go to our coding language, our script, and this one's going to be much shorter than some of the other ones. So there's not a lot we have to do in order to add gravity. So the first thing we need is we need a new variable. So I'm going to call var. I'm going to set what the gravity value is. So I'm going to set around 70, but you can change it to whatever you want if you want the gravity to be heavier or lighter, depending on what type of game you're making. Next thing we need to do is we need to set a brand new function, and we'll do this under apply movement. So we're going to do function, and we're going to call that function apply gravity. Now, in order to do this, we need to apply delta, and delta just means that it's going off the current frame rate, and velocity dot y minus equals gravity, so we're taking velocity dot y equals velocity dot y minus the current gravity is essentially what we're saying there. And then we're going to times that by delta. Finally, the last thing we need to do is just move up to our physics process, and we want to do this before we do our final move and slides. So all we're going to do in this bit here is just run our apply gravity function. So apply gravity and delta, and that's it. We should be good to go now. I'm getting a weird error at the top because I've missed an equal, so I'm just going to add that equals back in. That should fix that, and we can run our first test. So we've got our player here. We can walk off, and now we should be just falling for eternity in the endless void. Our original levels disappeared now, but gravity is in fact working. So what you probably want to do now is add up a bit of a respawn, just in case we do fall. So I'll show you how to set that up now. So in order to set up respawn, what we're going to do is we're going to set it just to a key for now. So I'm going to go to project settings, input map. I'm going to type in respawn. I'm going to add that as a new input function. I'm then going to add the key for that, and I'm going to say that if you want to respawn, you're going to press R, and this can be set to anything. And again, with this, we can actually set multiple respawn buttons if we want, but really we just need one for something like respawn. To close that, and then we're going to set up a brand new function called respawn. So function respawn, and for our respawn function, we're going to say if inputs dot is action pressed, and this is checking for any of these actions that we set up, and input does need to be a capital I. Dot is action just pressed, or is action pressed. We'll use that one instead, and we'll go for respawn. So this checks that have you just pressed the button that's linked to respawn. If you have, what we want to do, we want to get tree. This will get our tree here. So you'll see we've got player, collision, mesh, pivot, camera. This will actually get the tree of the entire scene instead, so we're getting everything, and we want to reload them all, so reload current scene. Finally, this function won't work on its own, we need to actually declare it, and what we want to do is check for that input inside of our physics process. Every single tick of our physics engine, we want to check if they're pressing that key. So we're going to run this now, and now when we fall off the edge, we can quickly restart and get back to the beginning. So this is really handy and quick for testing. We don't need to wait till we fall till the end of the world. Instead, this is a really fast way, but later on we'll add it that when the player falls to a certain part of the world, it will automatically respawn them instead of waiting for R to be pressed.